I saw Black Panther over the weekend. It is a very good Marvel movie. I am not a Marvel fan. I am a DC over Marvel guy. I have to analyze it on two levels, the Black Panther film. So one is the movie level. Is it a good movie? The answer is yes, I think it's a good movie. I think it's a well-made movie. I think it's compelling. I found the characters interesting. I thought the story moved. I liked the movie. I thought that it was better than most of the Marvel movies that I've seen recently. I think it would probably fall, I said top 3, and it would probably fall top 5 for me in terms of the Marvel films. I think, what have they made, 17 of them now? They made a bunch of them. My top 5 Marvel films, this would be on there. I really liked Thor Ragnarok because it didn't take itself too seriously. That would be on there. Ant-Man would be on there. I know that I'm in the minority believing this. Ant-Man would be on there. I really like Doctor Strange. I thought Doctor Strange should be on there. I have a weird Marvel list of movies that I like, and they tend to be lighter. Black Panther is heavier, and I think that it's pretty good for that. So it's well made. The acting across the board is really good, except for Forrest Whitaker, bizarrely, who plays the same character in every film now. So Forrest Whitaker has basically become the guy he played in Rogue One, and he's like that in every single science fiction film. He's kind of like Jeff Goldblum that way. When you cast Forrest Whitaker, you know you're getting Forrest Whitaker. You're not going to get really a performance. But everybody else in the film is great. Michael B. Jordan steals the film as the villain, Killmonger. He's the best thing in it. But the performances across the board are quite good. Okay, so that's level number 1. Is the film good? That's what, so things I like that. That's good. It's a good film. So we can show a little bit of the preview, and then I will explain some things about the film that I did not like.
Tell me something. What do you know about Wakanda?
It's a third world country. Textiles, shepherds, cool outfits.
All front. Explorers have searched for it. Called it El Dorado. They looked for it in South America. But it was in Africa the whole time. I'm the only one who's seen it.
Okay, so the movie's good. Andy Serkis, by the way, is terrific in the film, and they should have him in more films where he's not CGI'd as a monkey or something. He's quite a good actor, and I really enjoyed him in the film. He plays a crazy guy. Okay, so so I analyzed it as a film, very enjoyable, very good movie. Okay, now the politics. So before I go any further, I want to point something out. I did not politicize this film. You politicized this film, media. It was you guys who made this into a big issue. I'm going to read you some of the headlines from the New York Times. Okay, these are the headlines from the New York Times about this film in the last 2 weeks alone. 1, Black Panther smashes box office records in Hollywood myths. I took 7th graders to see Black Panther. Here's what they said. Black Panther and the Revenge of the Black Nerds. How Black Panther got its gorgeous Afrocentric hair. Why Black Panther is a defining moment for Black America. Black Panther brings hope, hype, and pride. Okay, people last week were saying I was very upset that there was this movie being made. No, I'm not. I don't care whether the movie is made. It was a good movie. I enjoyed it. What I care about is that the media are treating this as some sort of glorious moment. Like this is a very, very important cultural moment. It's not a very important cultural moment. I'm sorry, it isn't. There have been blockbusters with black leads, black comic book characters in films, including Nick Fury, hit movies primarily about black people for years, critically acclaimed movies about black people for years. In the last 5 years, I think, 12 Years a Slave and Moonlight both won, both about black people. So the idea that Americans are not willing to go see a movie with primarily black people, like, what are you talking about? I just don't see the evidence for any of that. And there's this kind of virtue signaling that's now going around, people saying they love the movie a little more than they do because they want to prove that they went to see a movie with black people and liked it. I think that's really dumb. The movie's good. Is it Citizen Kane? No, it's not Citizen Kane. Is it a very good Marvel movie? Sure. Okay. The politics didn't go beyond that, though. So it's not just it's important for black kids to see a black superhero, which I find a dubious measure. I don't think it's important for white kids to see a white superhero. I think it's fine for white kids to see a black superhero, like Black Panther. I think it's fine for black kids to see a white superhero. I don't care. It makes no difference to me. But there's something beyond that. So Carvel Wallace wrote this in the New York Times, quote, "No one knows colonization better than the colonized, and black folks wasted no time in recolonizing Wakanda. No genocide or takeover of land was required. Wakanda is ours now. We do with it as we please." And then he said also in this article that there's a video posted to Twitter in December, which has since gone viral. 3 young men seen fawning over the Black Panther poster at a movie theater. One jokingly embraces the poster while another asks rhetorically, "This is what white people get to feel like all the time?" There's laughter before someone says, as though delivering the punchline to the most painful joke ever told, "I would love this country too." Except nobody's ever gone to see a Captain America movie and said, "Wow, look, a movie with a white hero. I'm so excited. He's white." Nobody does that in America. That's not a thing. And they certainly don't go to a movie and say, "Wow, look, a movie with all white people and all the black people are bad," because that would be a racist movie. That would be Birth of a Nation. That's bad. Right? So, no, this is not true. Okay, so what are the politics that are actually in the movie? I didn't politicize it. You politicized it. So now I have to break down the politics. Sorry I have to do that. Shouldn't ruin your experience of the film. It's a good film. Okay, so here's what's good. Martin Luther King defeats Malcolm X. So there are two main characters in the film. One is T'Challa, who is a stolid Chadwick Boseman, and he sort of plays the MLK figure. He's taking over for Wakanda. So I have to explain the plot of the film. So spoilers ahead. Okay, if you don't want to hear the spoilers, tune out now. Here are the spoilers. So there's a fictional kingdom that does not exist because none of this exists, right? It's Marvel Universe. But we're going to pretend that it does exist for purposes of this conversation, because when you analyze the politics of a film and the messages that are being promoted by the film, you have to take it on its own terms. So here's what's going on. There is a country called Wakanda. Wakanda was hit with a meteorite that is filled with vibranium. Vibranium is basically unobtainium. It is the greatest metal that has ever been created. It can heal spinal wounds. It can give you visions of your forefathers. It can do anything, vibranium. It's just unbelievably cool crap. And it can turn your entire civilization, apparently, so long as there are no white people in your civilization, it can turn your entire civilization into a fully westernized, fully liberal place with gay rights and women running the military and women running all the science, institutions, and all this. Outside cultural influences don't matter. All that matters in this universe is that a big meteorite landed right here and that there were no white people to ruin it. That's pretty much the premise of Wakanda. And then Wakanda hides from everybody, but they still have the greatest country ever without any trade. So they have this metal, but the metal magically can grow things, and it can make everything super cool. It can be isolationist. You can have a complete state with no outside interference at all. Now, pause. In real life, this doesn't work out for anyone. Japan was the closest thing to this. America basically opened Japan with a couple of gunboats. Okay, China was like this. In the 1860s, the United States sent a couple of gunboats into China during the Boxer Rebellion and basically took over during the Opium Wars, and basically took over large swaths of China and opened it to trade. So this is not accurate. Okay, when you cut yourself off from the outside world, it typically makes you weaker, not stronger. But put that aside. Okay, so Wakanda is fantastic. It's the greatest place ever. But Wakanda didn't help out black people around the world when black people were suffering at the hands of white people. So the king of Wakanda, before T'Challa, was T'Chaka. That's his dad. T'Chaka had a brother. His brother was sent as a spy to Oakland. Why would you send a spy to Oakland? No one knows. Okay, no, what's in Oakland? Were you trying to get the Raiders playbook? There's nothing going on in Oakland that needs spying on. If you're going to send a spy, you send him to Washington, D.C., right? Did the Russians spend time sending their spies to help Trump in Oakland? No. Okay, so that's stupid. But they send him to Oakland. He sends his brother to Oakland. And his brother in Oakland then turns into basically like a Black Panther, like an actual militant guy who says that America, he gives a whole speech about how America is filled with discrimination and how black people in America are essentially living in poverty because the white people have flooded their neighborhoods with drugs and over-policing. There's an actual Black Lives Matter speech in the middle of the film. Okay, then he tries to smuggle some vibranium out to all of these Black Panther-type groups, and T'Chaka has to kill him. So T'Chaka kills his brother. The brother had a son. The brother's son is Michael B. Jordan, who grows up to be Killmonger. His entire agenda is, Wakanda has all of this awesome vibranium. Why don't we help out oppressed peoples around the world overthrow their colonialist masters? Okay, that's the premise of the film, and that's the conflict. T'Challa wins, and Killmonger loses. So MLK defeats Killmonger. That's good, right? MLK's program is better than Malcolm X's program. Militants and separatism is not better than integration and the belief that life should get better for everybody. However, the film's real message is that Killmonger is right. Yeah, it's impossible to watch the film and not feel sympathy for Killmonger because of the way the script is written. That's for a couple reasons. One, Wakanda's incredible. In this film, the United States is garbage for black people. Terrible place to live for black people. Now, again, break to real life. America is the best place on earth for black people. There is no better place on planet Earth for black people as a group of human beings, just like there is no better place for women or Jews or any place else on planet Earth for anyone than the United States. Just a fact. Okay, measure it in terms of income, measure it in terms of lifestyle, however you want to do it. America is a fantastic place for black people. That does not justify colonialism. It does not justify slavery. Evil things are evil, but that is not the same thing as saying that black people in the United States right now are somehow under the boot of the white supremacist institution, which is sort of the premise of the film. So the United States in the film is garbage and Wakanda is great. That being the case, Killmonger's actually right. He's suggesting that black people in the United States are oppressed and that the system in the United States is legitimate because of colonialism and slavery, and therefore you have to overthrow that with violence. That seems like not the worst logic, and that doesn't seem completely wrong. Now, the reason it's wrong in real life is because colonization can be wrong and unjustifiable, and so can slavery. But the suggestion that the problems of modern-day Africa lie in colonization and slavery, as opposed to a lot of internal problems that have existed for centuries in many places around the world, including in Africa, and that those problems continue today, that's too simplistic. Okay, that's too simplistic to blame that on colonization and slavery, because that's silly. Okay, but the message is the wrong message here, which is that Killmonger is basically correct. There are a couple lines in here that underscore this. One of the people in the film who's sort of the Q figure, as in James Bond, Q, one of the people in the film is the sister of T'Challa, and for no reason at all, she just calls a white guy white boy. She calls Bilbo Baggins white boy for no reason, and then she also she calls him colonizer, like literally for no reason. He walks out of bed and she goes, "Don't surprise me like that, colonizer." It's like, really? Yeah, you just drop that in the middle of a film and it's totally cool because all white people are colonizers now? By the way, the United States, the least colonizing power in the history of great powers. Okay, so that some of the stuff that I dislike, there's also some rips against the U.S. military. The solution at the end of the film is apparently not militants, but spending lots of money in the inner city. So T'Challa decides that he's gonna buy up the portion of Oakland where his cousin grew up, and he's gonna spend a lot of money on STEM technologies or some such. We've tried that. It has not been a giant success. The problem inside a lot of communities, failing communities in the United States, white, black, and green, is lack of fathers, crime rates that are too high, lack of social institutions, not lack of monetary investment. We've spent lots of money on the war on poverty. It has not been particularly effective. There's some mixed messaging on walls. We learned that walls are bad. There's one of the characters actually said, I think it's T'Challa. He says, we don't need to build walls, we need to build bridges, except for the fact that the entire Wakandan empire is built because of a wall, and that 2 of the 4 people who have entered Wakanda have tried to destroy Wakanda. So that's not a really great immigration program, apparently. But not everything is, all the messages are bad. It says that women can be great at science, which is fine. It says that it's good. I mean, great. It says that race is not an obstacle to success, which is true and good. I hope people take away the good messages and not the bad.